Welcome to GOAT James Kingdom, where basketball lives forever. Here in GOAT James Kingdom, we attack the GOAT debate head on, where we challenge all Michael Jordan fans and all LeBron detractors to who is the GOAT of basketball. You can catch us every Sunday noon Eastern Time, right here on the GOAT James Kingdom channel, for the GOAT James Kingdom show with B. Lee and Ajani. Also, we go live Friday nights with the Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer, where you catch special shows and content as a GOAT James Kingdom follower and subscriber. Also, check out the GOAT James Kingdom membership, where you can get exclusive content.
So all the kids are orphans, and we would just like to give them some free Jordans.
No. Coach Roberts, the Wi-Fi ain't working again. Who this old ass nigga?
This is Michael Jordan.
Who?
The greatest basketball player of all time.
This nigga look like Mr. Clean. Why your shorts so
This
little?
nigga is a living legend.
My auntie has those same shorts. She calls them coochie cutters.
Nigga, you ain't finna talk about my shorts. I'll roll your ass in the oncoming
Hey
traffic.
man, I'm just saying y'all got the same shorts on. You got coochie cutters
These
on.
are not coochie cutters. These are NBA regulations.
Hey look sir, I wasn't trying to make you
I've
mad.
gotten 6 rings.
Okay, well just answer the phone or put it on silent.
You little motherfucker. I'll lift one of your legs right now.
You mind backing up a little bit? One of your testicles popped out the bottom of your shorts and it's hovering. I think it actually touched my kneecap. And I don't feel it, but I know it's there and it's really
My
good.
balls do what they want to do. I'm Air motherfucking Jordan. You should feel privileged, little nigga.
You named yourself after some shoes, nigga?
Welcome to GOAT James Kingdom. Welcome. I am Ajani the Exposer, and y'all have now been exposed by the Exposer. I appreciate it. And enjoy. I am called Ajani the Exposer. You guys are being exposed today.
Your opinion, I guess.
Move on from it. It was the 90s. That's it, bro. Move on from that. You don't know history. You don't know basketball. You just told me I'm stupid. But look how stupid you look because you don't know
I know all this
basketball. You don't know history. You don't know jamming. You don't know schematics. You don't know coaching. You don't know scouting. You don't know drafting. You don't know nothing from that Michael Jordan's great because the media said do that. So told you to say that. I know that is recorded, and you are officially being exposed by the Exposer, and you're going to sit there like a man and take this just like Buddy did 2 weeks ago.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Hey, get your numbers up. I had to get my numbers up.
Peace and blessings, y'all. Welcome to the Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer. I'm your host, Ajani the Exposer, one half of the GOAT James Kingdom platform. You guys know what to do when you come on the GOAT James Kingdom and enjoy yourself on another Friday night. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Also comment and share our content with other folks. As you guys know, we are on other platforms as well. We're going live right now on IG as well. So shout out to everybody who subscribed to us and follows us on IG. But you guys know we're on TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Discord, and we're right here on YouTube, Instagram. We're also on Playback TV. Make sure you follow us on Playback TV as well. So again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Ajani the Exposer here with another Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer, where we're going to discuss a few things, which is basically basketball. Because we have to discuss this all the time. I see some people in the comments upset about tonight's topic, and they can be upset about all they want to. They know this is what they want to talk about. They just upset because they can't talk about it on GJK or on FYF. Shout out to Lamont and everybody who's watching us on FYF. But the old heads and the young niggas are at war in basketball. And that's what tonight's program is about. It's official. Like, the old head idea and philosophy and way of thinking is no longer viable in basketball discussions. And they're upset about that because they feel like they're being passed over. They're being shoved aside. How dare you be shoved aside? We're paving the way. Lamont had a great stream last night discussing this when you have Stephen A. Smith going on live national television and have the nerve to say that Stephen Curry would only average 17 points in the 90s. That's just nonsense, ladies and gentlemen. That's just nonsense. And then you wonder why the YNs, the young niggas, don't care. Because the young niggas is like, well, forget y'all. Y'all are crazy. And we're going to describe the young niggas as anybody that was born after 1999. So anybody who's born from 2000 and on. Ladies and gentlemen, in reality, if we go back 30 years, that's 1995. I'm not talking about, usually when you think 30 years, you think the 70s, the 80s, right? No, we're talking about, it's 1995. It's the mid-90s. Time has blew by a lot of these old heads. They don't realize how fast time has gone by them. They just don't realize it. So they make outlandish statements because, for one, they think no one could check them. And the young niggas is like, we could check y'all. Y'all are crazy. All this is verifiable. Y'all keep saying go back and watch it. People went back and watched it, and nothing that y'all said was true. And now y'all mad that everything that y'all supposedly stand on is nothing that anybody else cares about. So all the old heads are really upset. That's why they're still trying to blame today's game and calling it a horrible game and nobody likes it, nobody watches it. And I'm going to explain all of this like I always do on a Friday night. So again, y'all go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Also check out the GOAT James Kingdom membership. Let me give a shout out to some of you here in the comments. I see you right here. Shout out to you, Grape T, always blessing us. That's right. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Shout out to you, Mar, GOAT James Kingdom member in the building. Peace and blessings to Wayne Gat. GOAT James Kingdom members in the building. I am kind of blazed today. I'm actually kind of chill today. I've been relaxing today. I actually just took a good nap, so I'm feeling good. All the zesties are necessary. If I was understanding this correctly from my boy Chilltown, the zesties are necessary. The zesties are necessary. Shout out to you, Iron Man. Peace and blessings. But again, it is a situation that I've always told you guys about. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Zero, yes, we at 10K subscribers. We have reached 10K and we're continually to grow here. In GOAT James Kingdom, we're going to continue to grow. So please share the content. Let everybody know what's up. Again, shout out to all of you. Here we go. We got another little young dude here. Not young dude, but a young brother here who always be representing. Shout out to you, Olo. But again, the young niggas are tired of the old niggas, man, because the old niggas just been lying for so much. And another thing is that the old niggas has been holding on to stuff that the young niggas just can't relate to, man. They don't relate to what happened in the 90s. It was the 90s. They don't relate to it. You can't expect some kid that was born in 2000, that's 25 years old. I call him a kid, but a kid that's 24, 25, 23, 22 years old. They started watching basketball 10, 12 years ago. You're mad at them because they only started watching basketball during that era. Like, you guys are not letting these kids enjoy themselves, and that's why they don't like y'all. That's why they and the worst part about it is that the younger generation knows basketball better than the older generation does. It's really sad on how they talk. It's really, really sad on how they talk the game, and the young dudes are just tired of it. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. But the young niggas are just tired of the old heads, and the old heads are basically trying to say y'all need to recognize us. Y'all can't get past these gates. They're trying to be gatekeepers, and the young niggas is like, fuck your gates. We create our own space and our own things because we can do that now. And the old heads just don't like it anymore, and they're upset. They're really like in their feelings about it. And I've always told y'all, every basketball discourse is about the GOAT debate. Whether we're gonna start listening to OKC conversations about how good OKC is and their historic run as a team, you're gonna find a zesty Jeffrey logic thrown in there to discredit what they're doing, because they can't accept greatness outside of their era. They don't want to pass it on. So when we talked about Stephen Curry can't do a certain amount of things in the 90s, the funniest thing is that no one ever says that what players were doing in the 90s, they couldn't do it in the 70s or the 60s. You never hear that. You never hear that. You never hear players from the 60s and the 70s saying that they can do what the players in the 90s did, right? But for some reason, the 90s is supposed to be the only era that can never be replicated, and it has to be considered the greatest. And the young niggas is tired of hearing that. That's why we're done with the 90s blew up so quickly, because we done with all that. We done with hearing all these lies. All this footage is available. We go back and see it. It's not as great as y'all tell us that it is compared to the basketball we're watching now. There's a whole bunch of basketball games on right now. And they're just better brand of basketball than what I was watching 30 years ago. Trust me, I know because I was watching it 30 years ago. I remember it. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to Quan Johnson, man. They keep telling us to go back and watch it. You're right. But there's a difference in the discourse between the both parties, right? And I'm going to give you guys an example, right? Recently, guys have been talking about Joker and Joker's brilliance and how does Joker match up against older guys. Well, I don't know how old this gentleman is, but I'm quite sure he's younger than me. But I'm quite sure he was born in the 90s or at least the late 80s, if I'm correct. But he is a NBA media accredited guy, so we're going to give him some benefit of the doubt. But watch how he talks about the game and how he describes how he feels Joker is the best center he's ever seen, and Joker would dominate in any era.
Issue is, even how you guard Joker is fundamentally different.
Yes,
you having to play up on Joker and Joker's ability to get by you consistently on the off-ball movement alone would be a problem for every other big, because no other big had to defend other bigs like that. Even just the face-cutting stuff alone would have been a problem. The transition stuff with Jokic would have been a problem. On top of that, he's an elite post scorer. He's an elite mid-range shooter. He's the best floater shooter ever. He's an elite three-point shooter. So if you have a player that you quite literally cannot stabilize one-on-one, and then on top of that, he's the best passer that you've ever seen at the position, well, not the chill. It makes it almost unguardable. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. He would have cooked Hakeem, Shaq, David, Malone, everybody, because they just have never seen anything like that. And that's just the truth. That's the objective truth. That's why Joker's the best. Hold on.
Lock Jokic.
No, all right.
Lock Jokic. And I don't care. I don't care what you say. Hakeem lock Jokic. Okay. David Robinson,
a much smaller player. Yes, a much smaller player. And then on top of that, Jokic's footwork is tier 1 ever. Tier 1 ever.
Ben Wallace,
the idea,
lock
the defensive block.
What tier is Hakeem?
Well, I'm saying tier 1. He's a tier 1. I'm saying he's a tier 1.
There are different tiers though.
To you. I think Hakeem and Jokic are tier 1 box players, 100%. Like for me, and just even just getting over the top, the fadeaway over the shoulders, like all that stuff that Joker does, all of it.
So you heard, yes, that's Swiper. Shout out to Swiper. As I've been in a conversation with him on PC before. Shout out to Swiper, man. Yeah, and he was cooking. Again, you heard him break it down. He was talking about basketball. He was explaining to you things that Joker can do and how Joker would be so effective in any era, because for one, none of those guys have ever had to guard anybody that can do those type of things that Joker can do on the court. So if we're talking about the game of basketball, that's not a disrespect to Shaquille O'Neal, Hakeem Olajuwon, or anybody who played in that era. And we can't just say the aura or the legendary status of these guys would automatically be the equal factor to stopping Joker. Like, that has to stop. That's not the equilibrium. You have to explain to us how somebody's going to guard somebody like a Joker when in today's NBA, they study him, watch him, and have the game plan towards him and still struggle versus him. And someone like Shaquille O'Neal never had a game plan, never had to imagine guarding somebody 25 feet from the basket. Like, that's the difference. He's using real basketball talk, real knowledge. Now, people like Swiper are free to talk the game of basketball outside the GOAT debate because they're on a channel like PC where they talk the game, they watch the games. Not to mention, like I said, he is also an accredited media guy. Okay, so he does his job. Plus, he loves Joker. Joker's his big thing. I think he lives out in Denver. I think he actually works for the Denver Mile High sports platform, right? So that's how today's generation talk. That's how the young niggas talk. Now, again, I don't know how old Swiper is, but Swiper is obviously a part of the young generation. He's not an old head. He's definitely not an old head, right? Him, Mars, and all these guys, these are the young niggas. They are tired of the old heads lying, Low in them. They're tired of the old heads lying. I think Low's in his mid-30s as well, somewhere around there. They're tired of the lies. They're tired of the old heads. The old heads want to continue to lie and tell us this is what we've seen. And that's the crux of the old head arguments. This is what I've seen. I've even seen Stephen A. Smith try to use, if you watch the game of basketball, if you watch the games versus someone like a J.J. Redick, who said, I played 15 seasons. Don't tell me what I've seen, man. Like you guys, and that's what they try to do. They try to tell you they lived it. They were a part of it. Like I said, they make it very personal. It's about how they feel about the game of basketball. The young niggas don't care about how you feel. That's why they appeal to Lamont, because Lamont gives them a perfect platform to tell them, man, fuck your feelings. Nobody cares how y'all feel. Y'all want us to be sentimental towards your feelings. Y'all say that this generation is soft and emotional, but to be honest with you, you old heads be really emotional when it comes to your generation or somebody talking about the 90s. Because it's a different dialogue when it comes to y'all. Because when it comes to talking the 90s, this is how the old heads talk about the 90s and talk about basketball in general.
Do you think it's easier to score points in 2025 or in 1995 in the NBA?
I think it's easier to score points now, most definitely now.
Okay, so therefore, when we look at point totals of LeBron, we got to take that with an asterisk, right? When was the NBA more popular, 90s or today?
I think the NBA is more popular today.
No, it's not even close. NBA's gone down. It's a joke. The last 10 years, who's been the face of the NBA?
Like LeBron.
In the 90s, who was the face of the NBA?
Jordan.
Wait, so Jordan made the NBA more popular and LeBron made the NBA a joke?
No.
The NBA is on verge of collapse. No one wants to watch it. Crowd attendance is down. They got to give away free food. They got to give away free beer. The cable channels are like basically no one wants to watch it. It's like a 3-point contest. No one plays defense. So the League of LeBron is going into a place of irrelevance. Jordan left the league at the highest ratings ever with a cultural phenomenon the way we've never seen before. When you go to the inner city, you go to Chicago, you go to Atlanta, do you say, hey, man, are you wearing Jordans? Or do you say, hey, are you wearing LeBrons?
You hear that? Like, I mean, that's the conversation they want to have when talking basketball. That's the most zestiest of the zestiest conversation when we're talking the game of basketball. Shout out to you, Darnell. Appreciate you. Peace and blessings. GOAT James King. Remember, in the 90s and the early 2000s, center position was very oversaturated. Yeah, because they were trying to guard Shaq. They had nobody to guard Shaq. Ain't nobody block you, bro. As you can see, your comments are there. Ain't nobody scared to use SD Jeffries. You're safe in the comments here in GOAT James Kingdom. We do not care if you're in the comments. That's what you do best. That's right. They're very insecure about themselves. You hear him talking a bunch of nonsense. Your generation is extremely soft and pathetic. My friend, I come from an older generation. I was born in the 1900s. I was born before crack. I'm a before crack baby. I don't know what you guys have been on. I really don't know. I don't understand this. But as you can hear, clearly see, this guy can't talk basketball. They can't explain basketball. They can't explain to you why the 90s was great. It's all fabricated lies, myths, and disrespect towards the future generation of basketball players. So why do you think the young niggas don't care? Because the old heads are the problem. The old heads won't relinquish nothing to the little niggas and let the little niggas live. They still want to relive their high school years from 1996 when they graduated, or 1993 when they graduated, or 1999 when they graduated, with a bunch of people who graduated in 2019, who graduated in 2021, who graduated in 2016. They don't relate to you. They don't understand your same vision. You didn't go through the same things. Everything is different. They grew up watching real basketball. When they started watching basketball, it was at the height of the Kobe Bryants, LeBron James, Dwayne Wades, the Dwight Howards, the Chris Pauls, Carmelo Anthonys. Like, they were at the height of basketball supremacy. Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant comes in, Derrick Rose. All these guys. You got Dirk Nowitzki at the height of Dirk Nowitzki's career. Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce. They had all these guys. Allen Iverson. These are the stars they got a chance to see, but you don't want to give them that praise. You want us to talk about Chris Mullins, Reggie Miller, Kenny Smith, Abdul Rauf. I mean, like, you guys want to talk about dudes that was averaging 15, 16 points. Disrespectful. And get mad because you guys can't talk the game. That's just the facts. And the young dudes are tired of it because the game is good. They be hating on people for no reason. They don't let us appreciate nobody. We can't appreciate Embiid. Why can't we appreciate Embiid like Ralph Sampson was appreciated? Or how we appreciate Derrick Rose. Nobody says, oh, Derrick Rose is soft. He's always injured. Nobody ever said that about Derrick Rose. But why is Embiid a guy that you have to be like, oh man, he's soft? Man, sometimes that happens. No one called Bill Walton soft. Dudes that didn't last because injuries eventually took their careers away from them. You guys find, again, and it's all about the GOAT debate. It's all about praising Michael Jordan. All of these guys that you see talking the way they talk about today's NBA in a negative light is because they have Michael Jordan as the GOAT. And the only way to keep that alive and that legacy alive is to let everybody know that Michael Jordan played in the greatest basketball era ever and was the greatest at it. So that makes him the GOAT. There's no competition. There's no discussion. There's no nothing. They'll tell you there's no discussion, but they'll be all in our comments. They love to argue the GOAT debate. The GOAT debate is basketball. They don't want to talk about nothing else. All the games that are on slate right now. Indiana just beat you. Right now is beating Utah. They don't care about that. Somebody in here said they was watching Phoenix and Boston. I think that's the Laker hater. Supposed to be the Laker fan, but the Laker hater. Detroit's beating against the Raptors. Cleveland's going up against San Antonio. Portland's up against Chicago. That's a good matchup. Houston right now is giving the business to OKC at halftime, 69-53. Then at 10 o'clock, we got obviously Golden State versus the Denver Nuggets. Then we got the Clippers versus the Dallas Mavericks, and then we got the Lakers game later on tonight. And the Charlotte Hornets lost to the Sacramento Kings. That's the first game that ended tonight. So I'm obviously going to be watching basketball tonight because you guys know I like to watch the Lakers. But all you guys do is get upset because the young niggas really don't care. The young niggas really do not care no more. And it is a real true war because the young niggas are realizing LeBron's the GOAT because they've watched over 20 years of LeBron's greatness. They know nothing of Michael Jordan's greatness. They know partially about Kobe Bryant's greatness. And that era, again, is going to be starting to be questioned because now people are going back and looking and realizing, like Lamont said on last night's live, like in reality it was because they allowed better defense, so now teams didn't have time to adjust. So it took some time for teams to adjust, and so throughout the mid 2000s, it seems like it was tough-nosed defense, but in reality it was because teams could play zone. Teams could legitimately anchor their defense better. And that's why it was tougher to score throughout the 2000s because there were not enough guys who could score as well. There weren't enough shooters in the game of basketball. By the mid-2000s, that all changed. And by now, forget about it. 20 years later, that's what I'm saying. We're talking about 20 years. Remember, y'all, 2005 was 20 years ago. But when I said 30 years ago was 1995, if I say 20 years ago, that's 2 decades, ladies and gentlemen. That is an entire person that became a child and is now physically an adult and has to manage himself or herself in life at 20 years old. That's 20 years, ladies and gentlemen. That's 2005. That's why I'm trying to tell you guys that you guys are missing out the whole scope as old heads. I'm lucky I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. As an old head, I'm an old head. I'm in my 40s, my mid 40s at that. So that means I've lived a good life. I should be like these old heads, telling you some sob story about my high school days. But in reality, I don't care about that. You shouldn't care about that. That was 20-something years ago. To be honest with you, I barely speak to anybody that I went to high school with. In reality, I don't talk to nobody I went to high school with, now that I think about it. I only talk to people that I grew up with from my neighborhood, that I know for over 20 years. How many jobs have you had in over 20 years? That's what I'm trying to explain. Like, that's why the young niggas don't care, because they're in the midst of their life. They're at the prime of their life. You're trying to rob them of their life, of their enjoyment, of their moment, with you complaining about the game of basketball and how it was in your era. And now you're mad that they don't care about how your era was, that your era was actually soft, that your era was a bunch of dudes who couldn't play the game of basketball, a bunch of dudes who didn't take the game seriously, who didn't take care of their condition, their body, their health, and they were just out there willy-nilly in the game of basketball. If you have to foul me to play defense versus me, you can't play defense. Fouling is not defense. We've already admitted all of this and shown all of this in GOAT James Kingdom before. It don't make no sense. Sir, our content is predicated on the GOAT debate. If you don't like the GOAT debate, then don't come on GOAT James Kingdom, sir. I'm sorry to tell you this. Our content is predicated on the GOAT debate. Go have the GOAT debate somewhere else and feel safe having it there because you know you'll catch the L coming on GOAT James Kingdom. Don't tell us our content's the same thing, because when I was doing shows on the Miami Heat, I didn't catch y'all like, oh wow, this is refreshing, Ajani. I like to hear you talk about the Miami Heat. You guys are just a bunch of hypocrites. Never seen you guys go on any one of those other guys' channel and say, I'm glad you're not talking about LeBron James today. And that's the point of tonight's show, is that the young niggas realize, like, yo, we can't do nothing. Y'all can't let Russell Westbrook live. Y'all can't let nobody live. The only people y'all praise are people that y'all can put in front of LeBron James, like Joker and Stephen Curry. 5 years ago, y'all were loving Kevin Durant. Now y'all know Kevin Durant's not better than LeBron James. Y'all don't care. Y'all still trying to find ways to put people ahead of LeBron James. That's what all this is about. Y'all don't care about OKC. So y'all, OKC is not going to make y'all feel anything. The same way y'all don't care about Jason Tatum and the Boston Celtics. Y'all don't care about basketball. Y'all only care about how it feels to you. The basketball that you thought that you saw, that you never really saw. A lot of y'all didn't watch it back then. I already proved that as well. If you are a true fan of GOAT James Kingdom and the Friday Night Exposure, I have exposed all of these things that we discuss in basketball in the GOAT debate. I mean everything from the physicality of the game to the rules to the play style to everything. I've done it with film, I've done it with stats, I've done it with the eye test, I've done it with logic, I've done it with fandom, I've done it in every aspect and everything that you can do to talk the game of basketball. That's why tonight's program, I don't have no videos for you. I have 2 videos for you. Swiper letting you know why Joker would dominate any center in any era, which is completely true. And I think the only center that can probably guard him defensively is Wilt Chamberlain. Maybe Bill Russell. But Bill Russell won't be able to do it on the other side of the ball. Wilt Chamberlain would be able to do it on the other side of the ball. I don't think Shaq would be able to do anything in today's era, because Shaq would have to legitimately come out. Shaq's not going to get the ball 5-10 feet from the rim. He's going to get the ball 10 to 15 feet from the rim. He's going to have to work his magic there. And when Shaq gets the ball in a low block, he's going to have to pass it, because he's going to get double teamed. And not the double team that he knows where it's coming from. He's going to get a double team instantly, because you can play zone against Shaq. That's why later in Shaq's career, it was more difficult for Shaq to do what he did, even though he was still as physical and still a brute. Because again, you can put somebody in front of Shaq, somebody behind Shaq, and Shaq won't be able to do nothing. Shaq's not a great ball facilitator. He's not a great playmaker. So his whole game would have to change. He would have to come out 10 to 15 feet from the rim to do what he does best, and that gives the defense enough space to contain Shaquille O'Neal. Akeem Olajuwon would bowl a little bit better, because Akeem Olajuwon has a little bit of a jump shot mid-range game from the outside, could put the ball on the floor a little bit. Shaq could put the ball on the floor a little bit, but again, like I said, they're not going to be that great at dominating and getting to the basket. They're not Giannis, they're not Joker, they're not Joel Embiid. They're not Bam Adebayo. They don't have the skill and the ability to dribble like that. That's why when these guys, you hear them say, oh, it's supposed to be a quicker, faster, stronger era, more athletic, but too slow and non-athletic guys are dominating, like Joker and Luka. Yeah, because Joker and Luka are one of the most skilled players we've ever seen in NBA history. If not, they are the most skilled players we've ever seen in NBA history. Their skills go beyond the roof. Those guys can dribble, pass, shoot. They can do so much with the basketball. They have great footwork. Just like Swiper explained, Joker's footwork is phenomenal. They're very skilled. And when you're very skilled, that can go a long ways versus athleticism, which is why the 90s was what it was, or the 80s what it was, because at the end of the day, a lot of those guys were in there not because they were skilled, because they just had a physical presence. We heard it on last night's live. We had them guys talking about Reggie Evans, and they were bringing up guys just for their physical presence, the Charles Oakleys. That doesn't work in today's NBA. You have to have some skill, some form of skill to do something. And what's the true matter of the fact is that the young niggas realize this. The old heads don't. The old heads don't want to relinquish that. They don't want to say, man, my era was great to watch, but now this is what's going on. This is the league. If you don't like it, watch something else. Watch something else. Watch something else. Don't complain about it. Ooh, hey, not Morgan, then the Kang. Shout out to you, Dr. Enki. Peace and blessings, brother. Listen, LeBron is super skilled, but Luka and them are very skilled, man. Luka's footwork is phenomenal. To take advantage of somebody's ability to be faster than you and quicker than you is incredible. That slow down step that they use to get a basket off is incredible. That's how skilled it is. Again, and the reason why all of this is the way it is because the NBA allowed teams to play better defense after the 2000 season. That's why I no longer count anything from the 1900s. That's why I'm on the side with the young niggas. Because that 1900 stuff is old. That's like me trying to hand a young nigga a tape cassette and tell him, yo, listen to this. Still to this day, ladies and gentlemen, still to this day in 2025, and this is a 30-year-old album, I tried to explain to my son how important it was for Raekwon's purple tape to be. Just for it to be a purple tape. My son doesn't understand why that we went crazy over a purple tape. A tape cassette at that. It's a tape cassette. Some of these young dudes wouldn't even know how to work a tape cassette deck. But to me, it was something back in our time. But again, if anybody grew up when I grew up in my era, when Raekwon dropped the Cuban Link album and that you opened up the case and it was a purple tape, it changed everything. It changed everything. But you had to be there to understand that. Nobody that was born after 2000 understands that, ladies and gentlemen. So you can't transfer auras, ladies and gentlemen. You can't do stuff like that. The purple tape. Yes, the purple tape. You just had to call it the purple tape. Everybody knew exactly what you were talking about when you told you the purple tape, man. You knew exactly what we were talking about. Changed the game forever. It's just that simple, ladies and gentlemen. It's just KRS-One. That man brought up KRS-One. Shout out to anybody who have KRS-One as the GOAT. KRS-One is still in my top 5 greatest MCs of all time. LeBron traded away. Again, if LeBron James traded away these, again, you guys are just proving our point about how great LeBron James is. Not only is he the greatest basketball player ever, you're saying he's the greatest GM ever. It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. These are all facts here. Exactly, brother. Thank you. All facts. You understand what I'm talking about, Peter. Peter knows what I'm talking about because Peter grew up in that era. It was a purple tape. Now, I remember Redman. Now, the difference was with again, it was Redman had his first album. His album was the tape was a red album, but there was a solid plastic cover for that. The Raekwon album was the clear covers, and it was like perfect for the mid-90s because that was at the time when you had the see-through phones. Everything was see-through. You had the see-through beepers where everything was, the case was a clear case, but it was a colored clear case. But that's what the Raekwon tape was, and it was a purple tape. And it changed the game. The young dudes will never understand that. Of course I be cooking. You know I be cooking because you chewing the meal in which I provided to you every Friday night, including tonight. You didn't expect me to have a response for everything. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we are going on our 3rd year in GOAT James Kingdom. We've heard it all. That's another thing. The young niggas have heard everything from you guys. They're tired of it. You guys have nothing to stand on. Nothing to stand on. And that's what people don't understand. Yeah, hey, Dr. Enke, it's okay if LeBron James is the greatest GM ever. He's the greatest GM. He's the greatest player. He's the greatest coach. He's the greatest at everything. He's the greatest agent. He's the greatest media personality. All of these things, brother. He's the GOAT of all GOATs. You feel me? That's what they don't understand. Oh, yeah, my apologies, ladies and gentlemen. We were trying to watch the game the other night. We had some technical difficulties. We tried to figure out a few ways to watch the game. It was a few members in the thing, so we just got off. And I was ready to get off anyways because I really had to, get some rest. But I did watch the game. I actually was falling asleep in the middle of that damn game. But we had some technical difficulties. In fact, if all GOAT James Kingdoms are here, shout out to you, Peter Bag Juice is also a GOAT James Kingdom member. Y'all let me know if y'all want to do the Laker game tonight in a GOAT James Kingdom private playback room, which I have for all GOAT James Kingdom members. If y'all want to watch the game with me tonight, we can watch the game because I am going to watch the game at 10:30 as well. Because again, I am going to end tonight's program very early. Because again, I know none of y'all are going to hit the link when I put the link up. In fact, it is probably about time that I do actually put the link up. Because I don't have too much to say, but other than that, the young niggas are tired of the old heads. And the old heads are going to have to relinquish this argument that they want to hold. Have your own circles. Be in your own circles. That's what social media is created for. And from that understanding, right, you will be able to be free to talk all that stuff that you want to talk. You feel me? Like, I don't know what's wrong with y'all, but I don't think old niggas belonging in the clubs. And when you see an old nigga in the club, everybody can say, like, look at that old nigga, man. You're dressed funny in the first place. You're dressing like you're young. You should be dressing like you're 20 and you're 42. Shouldn't be dressing like you're 20 and you're 36. You should have been past that phase of your life. Matter of fact, by the time you're 42, being in the club, you must have took a nap. It's the only way. It's the only way you would join the club. That's the only way you can stay in the club. But the fact of the matter is that if y'all really think that the 90s was the greatest basketball era, today's NBA sucks, y'all shouldn't be in these basketball circles trying to talk basketball with people. And that's just the facts. If you think the game sucks, if you think the game is not good, you shouldn't be here talking the game with people. But you guys want to talk. You guys want the attention. You guys want to have a conversation. So if you're a GOAT James Kingdom member, you want to have this playback stream tonight for the Laker game, put 3 GOATs in the comment. I want to see 3 GOATs in the comments. I'm actually going to put it in the GOAT James Kingdom show chat as well. If you want to become a GOAT James Kingdom member, ladies and gentlemen, all you got to do is go to our channel on GOAT James Kingdom through your laptop or tablet, and you'll find the tab to become a member of the channel. Hit that like button as well while you're there, and hitting all the different videos that we have. LeBron dressed at his age. LeBron does not dress like a young nigga. When I see LeBron, I don't see he doesn't dress like a young dude. LeBron dressed like a grown man. LeBron dresses his age. That is without a doubt. He still listens to the music. He still appreciates the young spirit. All right, shout out to y'all. I see y'all. Again, y'all put 3 GOATs if y'all want to have that. Indeed, become a member of the channel. It's always been worth it. Shout out to Zero, the #1 GOAT James Kingdom member. Not only as far as his fandom, but as far as the actual slot he fits in. He's the first individual to become a member of our channel and support us what we do here, man. Thank you so much, brother. But the true fact of the matter is like I said, that if we really want to talk the game of basketball, you have to be able to talk the game of basketball in this sense, in this fashion.
Issue is, even how you guard Joker is fundamentally different.
Yes,
you having to play up on Joker and Joker's ability to get by you consistently on the off-ball movement alone would be a problem for every other big, because no other big had to defend other bigs like that. Even just the face-cutting stuff alone would have been a problem. The transition stuff with Jokic would have been a problem. On top of that, he's an elite post scorer. He's an elite mid-range shooter. He's the best floater shooter ever. He's an elite three-point shooter. So if you have a player that you quite literally cannot stabilize one-on-one, and then on top of that, He's the best passer that you've ever seen at the position. Well, not the chill. It makes it almost unguardable. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. He would have cooked Hakeem, Shaq, David, Malone, everybody, because they just have never seen anything like that. And that's just the truth. That's the objective truth. That's why Jokic is the best. Hold on.
Lock Jokic.
No, all right.
Lock Jokic. And I don't care what you say. Hakeem will lock Jokic. Okay. David Robinson,
a much smaller player. Yes, a much smaller player. And then on top of that, Jokic's footwork is tier 1 ever. Tier 1 ever.
Ben Wallace,
the idea,
the
defensive block.
What tier is
Defensive block.
Hakeem?
Well, I'm saying tier 1. He's a tier 1. I'm saying he's a tier 1.
There are different tiers though.
To you. I think Hakeem and Jokic are tier 1 box players, 100%. Like for me, and just even just getting over the top, the fadeaway over the shoulders, like all that stuff that Joker did, all of it. You got put in timeout with a name like Music by P. Why you got put in timeout? What is this, like your fifth account? You coming up here with your zesty Jeffrey-ness? Listen, we got some moderators in here, and as long as you acting right and you ain't out here spamming, because that's the only people who get blocked are people who spam in the comment. But you're allowed to say whatever they want. All the moderators know that. All the moderators know you gotta let people have their comment. Again, y'all are always safe in the comments. Where you're not safe is when you hit that link. That's why you won't hit the link, right? That's why you'll stay here in the comments talking about me. Because like I told you, it's always about me. It's never about nobody else. There is no need for excuses, sir, because the Lakers will be winning. There will be a parade on Crenshaw, ladies and gentlemen. The Lakers will be winning an NBA championship. There's not a team in the West that could beat the Lakers 4 straight times or 4 games out of 7 games. It's not going to happen. That's just for sure. Oh, yeah, you are safe, my friend. Trust me, you're safe. Oh, I know. See, like I said, it's always going to be about me. See? It's got to be about me. It's got to be about me. Because you can't talk the game of basketball. That's why me and the GOAT James Kingdom members are going to be watching basketball and said, 45 minutes from now? Yeah, they are. That's why this war is in full effect. Because what LeBron James did was basically tell everybody, listen, man, he's the problem. He went straight for the head. That was a brilliant move by LeBron James. He went straight to Stephen A. Smith and told you guys, listen, man, this is the problem right here. Stephen A. Smith responded as true as a zesty Jeffrey's supposed to respond. They double down when they're wrong. That's exactly what he did. He doubled down. So now they're gonna go double down, and you heard him say, a Hall of Famer hit me up and said this. Stephen A. Smith ain't got no connections with no Hall of Famers hitting him up and trying to talk to him. That was something that he heard from somebody's podcast, because I know it came from Tim Hardaway, and once I find the clip, I will expose it as well. And he's sitting around here trying to justify this idea of why he has this beef with LeBron James and why he should say the things that he says about today's era, all for the sake of praising Michael Jordan and holding up the torch and the mantle for Michael Jordan and the zesty Jeffries that go along with him. And the thing about it is that the players from that generation also go along with it because they get attention as well. I told you, guys like Creepers Pro, Meltdown Sports, The Hungry Man, Unsmart Hoops, Casino Life, Cricket TV, those guys all use the words of ex-players and how they feel about today's NBA to promote their and to validate their thoughts and their logic. So those old heads know they have a whole fan base. That's why Mr. Rashard McCann said, oh my God, I can't believe I have all these fan base. I got all these people that love me. They're expecting me to say these things. Kwame Brown is following suit too. Kwame Brown's like, oh man, I got a whole fan base that I got to keep happy and alive. So I got to keep this thing going. I got to keep saying the most outlandish things about this era and about anybody who feels about it, because they don't really know nothing. I know everything. I'm the boss. I'm the older head. I've been it. I've seen it. I've been through it. The same stuff we hear all the time from older niggas, man, who lie to you about what they've been through in life, all the war stories and all that bullshit, high school stories. Nobody care about that shit, bro. Nobody cared about it then when you were in high school. Nobody cared about it now. Yeah, Casino Life is funny. I saw him the other day, man. Those dudes don't be having nothing better to talk about. They don't be having nothing better to talk about. That's why when they want to talk about the game of basketball,
They got to talk about the game of basketball like this.
Do you think it's easier to score points in 2025 or in 1995 in the NBA?
I think it's easier to score points now, most definitely now.
Okay, so therefore, when we look at point totals of LeBron, we got to take that with an asterisk, right? When was the NBA more popular, 90s or today?
I think the NBA is more popular today.
No, it's not even close. NBA's gone down. It's a joke. The last 10 years, who's been the face of the NBA?
Like LeBron.
In the 90s, who was the face of the NBA?
Jordan.
Wait, so Jordan made the NBA more popular and LeBron made the NBA a joke?
No.
The NBA is on verge of collapse. No one wants to watch it. Crowd attendance is down. They got to give away free food. They got to give away free beer. The cable channels are like basically no one wants to watch it. It's like a three-point contest. No one plays defense. So the League of LeBron is going into a place of irrelevance. Jordan left the league at the highest ratings ever with a cultural phenomenon the way we've never seen before. When you go to the inner city, you go to Chicago, you go to Atlanta, do you say, hey, man, are you wearing Jordans? Or do you say, hey, are you wearing LeBrons?
Again, how does that even make sense? How does that even make sense? It doesn't. But that's how the type of conversations they want to have when they want to talk the game of basketball. Because again, they can't talk the game. All they can do is lie, make up some fallacies, and none of it is truthful. None of it is real. None of it is honesty. And that's the problem that we have with the Zesty Jeffries. They got to create lies. They got to create myths because they can't talk the game of basketball. So what we're left with is having this debate, this constant debate, and it's never going to finish because the old heads have platforms. They can talk, and the young dudes are not going to shut up because the young dudes are the true fans of the games. They're the one who's watching it today. As all of them admit, they don't watch it no more. They stopped watching. So if you stop watching the game of basketball, right, then what does that say? Hey, time to move on. Leave it alone. But y'all don't do that. Y'all want to argue with the young niggas. Y'all want the young niggas' attention. Y'all talking about they need to respect y'all, but y'all begging for their respect. They don't want y'all. They don't want to respect y'all. They don't care about what you about. They want to be able to do what they do best, which is enjoy basketball and enjoy it the way they see it. They want to praise Paul George. They want to praise Kevin Durant. They want to praise all of these guys. They don't need you to tell them about a game of basketball and then lie to them on top of it. Then when they go back and watch it, they're going to be like, yo, all that was a lie. All of that was a lie. None of that was reality. None of that was real. And that's what y'all upset about. The young niggas don't give a fuck about how you feel anymore. And they're watching the game on their own accord. They're doing their own things. And they don't need y'all for anything. So the beef and the Civil War, as Lamont put it in the FYF show, it's real. It's not going to end because, especially if LeBron doesn't win, then it's going to be back to the same repetitive nonsense. They're going to ignore who won a championship. No one's going to recognize Boston. No one's going to recognize the champion. Now, imagine if Boston wins back-to-back championships. What is going to be your talk if both Jason Tatum and Brown have a Finals MVP? They're back-to-back champions. What is going to be your talk then? Like, how y'all going to address that? Y'all won't address it. So, again, it's going to be a continuous conversation because the young niggas got the platform to speak. They're the loudest in this conversation, and the old heads are not going to relinquish it until they get crushed and annihilated out of this. So, you know, like I said, man, you guys have to really understand that there is no basketball discourse without talking about the GOAT debate. Right now, everybody's happy for Stephen Curry. Why? Because he finally beat LeBron James. They've been winning for a while now. But because they beat LeBron James and the Lakers, it's back to that. See what I'm saying? The Joker went off for 61 the other night. People are saying he's the MVP. They're praising him. But nobody's really saying other that, can they really win a championship? So again, you guys have to understand that the game of basketball is evolved. And but all you're going to do is sit here and cry and complain about it, then why watch it? Why talk about it? Why be involved in it? Why even speak on it? Obviously, you want the attention. You need the attention. That's just the facts. It's just the facts. Now, I got the link available and getting everything ready for you guys Don't censor me. Who is censoring you guys? There's nobody censoring you guys. Nobody cares what you guys are saying in the comments. To be honest with you, I barely be reading what you guys be saying. Shaq goes off all the time. Shaq's a hypocrite. Shaq says whatever can make money. Shaq's a money hungry dude. He says whatever can make him money. Now, if you're a GOAT James Kingdom member, you're gonna watch today's program. You gotta come to Playback TV, because we're not going live. We're not doing a live stream on the GOAT James Kingdom channel. This is gonna be a private, and it's not gonna be on StreamYard neither. This is a private Playback GOAT James Kingdom membership. So please join me there to watch the game, and we'll have some fun watching the game there on Playback TV. If y'all didn't know, again, ladies and gentlemen, GOAT James Kingdom is officially on Playback TV, where we're going to be watching basketball games like the Lakers playing against who they play tonight. They play against the New Orleans Pelicans tonight. So that's going to actually be a great game. So all you got to do is come watch us on Playback TV, subscribe to our channel, subscribe to our Playback rooms. And those are our 2 rooms there. If you're a GOAT James Kingdom member, the link to the GOAT James Kingdom member Playback room is available there. But obviously, definitely check us out on Playback TV.
Welcome to GOAT James Kingdom, where basketball lives forever. Here in GOAT James Kingdom, we not only talk the game of basketball, we actually watch it. And by becoming a member of GOAT James Kingdom, you'll have access to watch the games with us right here on Playback TV/GOAT James Kingdom. All GOAT James Kingdom members will have access to watch the games with us, especially when the Los Angeles Lakers face anyone in the NBA. Also, we'll be going live with other games and other streams regarding the basketball. If you like the content here in GOAT James Kingdom, please hit that like button, comment, become a subscriber to the channel, and also don't forget to become a member of GOAT James Kingdom.
Indeed, indeed. Y'all know what we doing, man. Yeah, we're growing. Our content is getting bigger and bigger. Teams do know how to guard the 3. See, again, this is why you guys say, just because teams don't know how to guard the 3 yet doesn't mean Curry's the GOAT. Nobody's calling Curry the GOAT. They just realized that Curry's one of the greatest players they've ever seen play the game of basketball. They'll put him in front of Magic Johnson because they've never saw Magic Johnson play. I never saw Magic Johnson play. I'm in my 40s. So how are you going to tell somebody that's 23, 24, 25, 26 years old something about Magic Johnson? In an era when Magic Johnson was dribbling the ball, walking backwards. Like, come on, y'all. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, y'all gotta be like real, bruh. Y'all gotta be real with this, man. I just explained to y'all about the purple tape. Can you imagine trying to tell somebody, well, wait, we gotta flip sides to listen to the next song, or the next side of the song, or rewind something when they're just used to just hitting a button, they can skip to the next song easily. They can pull songs out and randomly just play the songs they want to hear back to back. Like, they don't have to do none of that fast forward rewinding stuff. That's what y'all are asking these kids to appreciate. That, like, they don't. That is straight up stupid. They don't care if you're dribbling the ball backwards. That's not great basketball for anybody who's been watching basketball from the 2000s up. I don't. That's just the point. I mean, you guys could say Stephen Curry's top 10. I don't have him in the top 10 because I go off of stats, accolades, and achievements. And he hasn't reached that level yet. He's close, though. He's close. Kareem got 4 rings. Kareem got 6 rings, sir. Magic got 5 rings, sir. I don't know what y'all be watching. I mean, we again, they want to go back to an era that doesn't exist, bro. You want to go back to where people were smoking cigarettes at restaurants. Like, that's what you want to do. You want to go back to an era where nobody wants to go back to, man. Nobody wants to go back to that brand of basketball. I've also had a show about that as well, showing y'all the 1994 NBA Finals and how it was a 7-game series and it was one of the lowest rated finals of that era because no one at that time cared to watch the game because the NBA at that time also had a bunch of casuals just like the Zesty Jeffries of that day. But at least today, people are going to watch the games. They smoke cigarettes everywhere. They used to smoke cigarettes on a plane. I remember flying from New York to come to Miami, and they were smoking cigarettes on a plane. They had the no smoking sign come up. No. To the young dude, Stephen Curry is the greatest point guard of all time because they don't judge it off of how y'all judge point guards. Stephen Curry's a better basketball player than Magic Johnson to them by far. Stephen Curry is doing things that we've never seen before, man. He's changing the game of basketball. He's doing so many things. Not to say Magic didn't do that, but they never saw it. And if you go back and go tell them to go look at it, it doesn't appeal to them. The hook shot doesn't appeal. Magic Johnson dribbling, I said, Magic Johnson dribbling going backwards is not appealing. But watching Stephen Curry dribble, do all kind of in and out moves, hezzy, between the leg, around the back, step back, pump fake, go back in. I mean, he's doing. Oh man, that moment he had against Luka yesterday was just phenomenal. It's just like this guy. Like, what can you do? You have to stay close to him. Oh, I know what you can do. Foul him. Send him to the free throw line. Put yourself on the bench because you want to foul. Now you're going to empty out your whole team because you want to foul Stephen Curry to psychologically do something to him. That's how horrible you are playing the game of basketball. You can't even think of a strategy to contain Stephen Curry. And that's how you're going to hold Stephen Curry to 17 points. I'm telling you, the Zesty Jeffries are hilarious. These Zesty Jeffries are hilarious. Oh, those crackheads from the 80s and the 90s couldn't last in the bubble. Could you imagine them not being able to get their fix? Being stuck in Disney World? Get out of here with that. Nobody care about what y'all feel about the bubble. Nobody care. Nobody want to hear y'all nonsense with that nonsense. The young niggas don't care. The bubble was great basketball. Gilbert Arenas did a great job on that Skip Bayless live where he explained that perfectly about all the great things that happened during the bubble. But let's get King Speech Roll blessings here. Shout out to you, brother. Thank you for joining me. What's good, man? I know you're on the side with the old heads. We already know that. You're on the old head side. So when are you going to leave the young niggas alone, man? Oh, I can barely hear you, bro. You gotta get to your mic, bro. I can barely hear you. I can't hear you, bro. You gotta get closer to the mic. We cannot hear you.
All right, you hear me better?
There we go. There you go. That's where you're in the building. Shout out to you, brother. There you go. I can hear you now.
Yeah. So, I'm on the side with the old heads. But if you're gonna say I didn't see Magic or whatever, you can't then say GOAT. You got to say greatest I've ever seen, right? The greatest I've ever seen was Steph Curry. The GOAT, and I've seen only a few years of Magic, but the few years I saw makes me know that he's the GOAT. Whatever I didn't see, I look back. I mean, you go to the 1985 finals, the guy averaged 17 assists a game, dribbling backwards, because you hand checked him, right? The hand checking means you slowing the guy down. Now, if you take hand check out, you put Magic in this era. I mean, what is he doing?
Magic doing the same shit, dribbling backwards. Because I'm gonna be.
Why would he dribble backwards without a hand check? See, every time you saw him dribble backwards, somebody's got his hands up against him because that's what you had to do to slow him down. If you got Magic facing forward,
yeah, you can't hand check somebody facing forward. That's what I'm saying. If I'm dribbling the ball and you're putting your hands out there, that's an automatic foul. The reason you were putting your hands on Magic because he was turning around, because he can't protect the ball facing you, so he has to protect the ball with his body. So of course you're going to use your hands now because his body is in the way. He turned his back to you. He cannot face you and protect the ball. He can't dribble that well. That's what Stephen Curry's going to do. If you lean on Stephen Curry, he's going to dribble sideways and hit a dagger in your mouth. And you're going to be complaining to the ref. That's the point. Stephen Curry just dribbles better than Magic Johnson. He dribbles 10 times better than Magic Johnson.
I'm trying to think of who said that to Stephen A. or if he made that up. Stephen A. is very smart, right? Stephen A. knows how to stir the pot. I'm trying to think if maybe a Gary Payton said it. Maybe him, maybe somebody else. But he said it was a Hall of Famer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to think who said that.
It was I'm quite sure
he said it was a Hall of Fame.
I'm quite sure it was Tim Hardaway. It was Tim Hardaway. If I remember quite sure, it was Tim Hardaway who said it. I am quite sure. I remember Tim Hardaway saying it. I remember him saying something about Stephen Curry. He was just saying how Stephen Curry they would just bully him. Like they would just, harass him. Like he wouldn't be able to do nothing. He would stick out into the perimeter and he would never get the ball. He would get elbowed. I gotta find a clip. I've been looking for it for these past couple of days. I haven't been doing a great job trying to find it. But I definitely know it was coming. If I'm correct, it was from Tim Hardaway.
It
wasn't somebody calling. It wasn't nobody calling Stephen A. about that. Stephen A. Smith is not in the loops with these basketball players like that. He's $100 million man. How many of these old school basketball players are even anywhere near his circles now? A lot of them dudes don't make that kind of money anymore.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're smart, you're gonna try to nighten up to Stephen A. because Stephen A. got a whole network coming out or whatever. He's trying to put people on or whatever. But at the end of the day, I think it's cap too. I think Steph would have found ways to adjust. But the point is you had things you had to deal with. Like they didn't call like the leg kick thing, right? And the whole flagrant foul if you don't let a guy land in his landing spot. They didn't deal with that back in the 90s. So that's what he's trying to say. Yeah, guys would have found ways to do little things to throw him off his game. And I still think Steph was a great enough player to adjust, right? But it's the same way. Like, you got to look at the way the game was played, and I think they wouldn't have gave Steph the same green light that he has now. And again, like I was telling y'all last night, the game has changed because coaches now understand that the three is a more valuable shot than the two. They didn't think that back then. They didn't use analytics like they do now. And analytics tell you, take the three instead of the long two. Right? So, it goes, I think it goes both ways.
We talked about it last night. Is because they can hit it. I'm not going to sit here and let Westbrook and let Giannis shoot a bunch of threes because they're not good at shooting threes. They shoot it at below 30%. You don't want nobody who shoots it in the low 30s shooting it a lot. That's the problem. The difference is that now today's NBA players are just better at shooting the basketball, whether it's because of repetition or not. They had the ability to do it, and that's what they've been working on. A lot of these guys realize for you to be able to be on the basketball court, you have
to shoot the three. Yeah,
because teams play such good defense because guys are really athletic to play defense. So again, like I tell you guys, to be a good defender, you just need athleticism, right? You need the size. And you need the willpower. Most NBA players have the size, athleticism, and willpower to be the great defender. That's one of the easiest things to do in the NBA. So that's why you have a lot of great defenders in today's NBA. Whether you agree with it or not, a lot of guys are great defenders. So now you need guys who can shoot, because now we're gonna be limited. They're gonna destroy us left and right. So that's how that always go, bro. So you know what I mean? Again, I get you guys' argument. Nobody's trying to disrespect Magic. No one's trying to disrespect that era. But they're just trying to tell you, man, what I'm watching right now, I got to appreciate. I just got to appreciate. You know what I'm saying?
I think we all got to do a better job of appreciating everything. Because, again, the game was played a certain way. Like, what we saw back then, that's what it was. You put Magic in any era, he's going to be great. You put Steph in any era. Again, you gotta figure out the way the game is played, what they're doing, what they do well, and put them there. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, no, Magic would be definitely. Magic would definitely be great because Magic's a great passer. He's a great player, but again, that's a different subject for someone like Magic. He's definitely not like Shaq. Shaq's a different scenario. It depends on which legend we're talking about and their skill set. Magic had this skill set to still play in today's era because Magic could shoot, Magic could dribble. And Magic definitely he was one of the, if not the greatest playmaker of all time. So definitely, yeah, Magic to me, Halliburton and Magic are kind of like the same player to me, to be honest with you. But let me let you go, King Rose Speech, because I got some
doubt.
James King, the members of other folks in here. Thank you for joining me. And
All
again,
right.
bro, we're going to have some fun. I'll see you on Sunday if you want to holler. We're going to have a great topic as well. And don't forget Saturday night as well. We have a show on Saturday night. So peace and blessings to King Speech, bro. Let me bring up a GOAT James Kingdom member. I see you in the back, Dr. Enki, and I got Twin Man as well. But let me bring up Hollywood Herm, who's in the building. Hollywood Herm. We doing it. Hollywood Herm. Hey, Herm.
So sad, man.
Listen, man, the old niggas, I know you're part of the old nigga coalition. I know you the old nigga, they call you Unc. I know they started to call you Unc now. They started calling you Unc, right? You part of the Unc coalition now, right? You Unc
Man,
now.
they
You go
call some call me that, but I'm a mixture
yeah.
of both, though. I'm a mixture of both.
Yeah, make sure, but we right in between, just like me. We getting there. Don't worry. The gray hairs are coming soon, brother. The gray hairs are coming soon. Mine's are growing in as well. But again, we know it's a beef between the old heads and the young niggas. The young niggas don't play. They got on those what they call them, those what's those yachty masks? What's the mask they be wearing? Who's a rapper? What they call those masks?
The shiesty masks.
The Pooh Shiesty mask. They got on the Pooh Shiesty. I seen the kid in the graduation wearing the Pooh Shiesty mask. They were like, oh man, his mama gonna be so upset when you see him in cap and gown with a Pooh Shiesty mask on, man. These young niggas don't care, huh? So I know you be chilling with the young niggas, man. So can you explain how the young nigga and the old nigga dynamic exists in basketball, brother? Please do, because I know you got something for 'em.
I guess the problem is between the two. The old heads kind of. I'm gonna speak from the former players' perspective first, but them, the old heads, a lot of their shit comes from they feel like damn, they kind of jealous because they not getting the money like the players get. So for them, they're like, man, hell no, these niggas don't deserve no money, man, because they not earning it. They ain't playing every game like we was playing every game. They didn't have to deal with the physicality that we had to go through. So that's how they feel. They feel like them cats not putting in the effort with the type of money that they make. So they doing a lot of like leftover take saying they doing a lot of pocket watch because every time you hear Shaq and Charles Barkley talk, they really speaking from that aspect, from that point of view. Like damn, y'all niggas been paid all this money, but y'all not putting in the work. So they kind of feel some type of way. They feel like I should have been making that much money. This nigga getting paid. So if Rudy Gobert making all this money, Shaq feel like, why the hell Rudy Gobert getting paid all this money? I'm Shaquille fucking O'Neal. I'm a Diesel. You know what I'm saying? That's how they look at it. For just the old head fans. They feel the same way in a sense because they feel like, damn, why y'all niggas not giving y'all all? We got niggas that's low management now. We got niggas that really go. They really don't care less. They just coasting to just wait on the post. So we don't really get to see these stars like they feel like they should see them. So they got the same sentiments in a sense. For the young heads, they feel like, oh man. Just because they're seeing how flashy the game is in the sense they're seeing how they run it up and down, they're seeing the game is prettier. So they don't appreciate the older guys that came before them because it was the flashy guys in every era like Tim Hardaway. They don't realize this 1-2 dribble crossover, one of the quickest crossovers in NBA history. But they're not going to understand that because it wasn't that many Tim Hardaways in that era. So they're not going to really comprehend how Tim Hardaway is. So it's a give or take. The old heads feel like them young niggas really not earning it and they not giving the effort. The young niggas feeling like, man, niggas don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all just haters because y'all niggas wasn't as skilled. But it was niggas that was skilled. It wasn't as many, but it was many niggas that was skilled. And it's just a correlation of niggas. The old heads just want to see niggas give it their all, be physical, play hard, actually earn their money in their and the young niggas like, man, y'all old niggas you stop speaking on the game and just appreciate it. But
yeah, stop hating on my money. Stop hating on us. It's our turn. It's our time to shine. I get that. That's a great point by you, because that is something that you hear a lot from the older players, like how, like, man, we had to get it from the mud. And y'all are just in high school and in middle school being pampered with shoe deals and making money and being on these AAU teams and not really having to deal with college coaches and being scouted and recruited and things of that nature. You just get to get into the NBA. You instantly start making money. You instantly get a shoe deal. You instantly get sponsorships, things of that nature. You know, you go overseas and you make money. You don't even have to be a star player. You don't have to win championships. You don't have to do none of this stuff. So I kind of get that. And another thing that we missing is that there is actually a generation in between these two generations, which is the generation that you and I are from, which is that 2000s generation, right? Because the guys that should be saying, hey, Shaq, Barkley, Jordan, Malone paved the way for the guys like Kevin Garnett, the Tim Duncans, the Kobe Bryants, right? The LeBron James, Dwayne Wades, the guys who were all from the 2000s. But that generation that came and gone. So when we're talking about the Trae Youngs, we're talking about the John Morants, we're talking about the Darius Garlands. They don't remember Tim Hardaway because the game wasn't passed on to them from Tim Hardaway. It was passed on to them from Tony Parker. It was passed on from, you know what I'm saying, from Steve Nash. It was passed on from Marbury. It was passed on from Dwayne Wade. Yeah. Like the Derrick Roses, they got the game from those guys. Like that's to them, Tim Hardaway is the generation before that. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like Tim Hardaway saying, yeah, I got my game from Isaiah. I got my game from Tiny Archibald and all them. But he can't say he got his game from somebody that played in the 60s because that's not his era. He could only say, well, I learned the game from the guys who played in the 80s because I watched them play. You see what I'm saying? So, like, that's the generation. I think the guys, like you said, the Kobe guys should be the most upset ones. They should be. That's why they always say, hey, what about us? What about our generation? What about the Kevin Garnetts, the Tim Duncans, the Dirk Nowinskis, right? That era who paved the way for the Jokers, to pave the way for the Joel Embiids. Because if it wasn't for a Dirk Nowinski, we don't have no big men trying to play out there in the perimeter like that. Dirk Nowinski changed that a lot. Same thing with Kevin Garnett, Paul Gasol, right? All those guys took the game to another level that we never saw no big men do before. So I think that's the disconnect, but it's truly a disconnect when we're talking about the older heads, the dudes, like I said, the dudes that are in their 40s. I don't know if you're in your 40s, Herm, but the dudes that are in their 40s and up. You're not there? Okay, yeah. Oh man, you'll enjoy 40, bro. 40 be you'll enjoy naps. You'll enjoy naps at 40 years old, bro.
This is what I do want to let the young boys know, boys, because this is the talking point they use a lot. They talk about, they emphasize points. So they think the guys that operate mid-range can't really shoot. I want people to realize this, the youngest out there. Don't you know 7 out of the top 10 scorers of all time in NBA history, 7 of those top 10 operate for the mid-range.
Mid-range talk.
Hey, they just Kevin Durant, mid-range. Carmelo Anthony, mid-range. Kobe Bryant, mid-range. Karl Malone, mid-range. Dirk Nowinski, mid-range. Michael Jordan, mid-range.
Mid-range.
Those are your top 10 scorers that score for the mid-range. So the
shit, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, mid-range too. Shit, that's what the hook shot was, mid-range.
Shit. Yeah. You
might as well say that.
And look at this year's MVP most likely is SGA, right? Operates for the mid-range. Operates for the mid-range. So guys kind of shit on the mid-range. Mid-range will never go anywhere because some of your best scorers in NBA history, 7 out of 10 guys of your best scorers, they go operate for the mid-range. That's one part of the game that will never leave. Yes, it's more great long-range shooters, you understand it. But the top scorers in the game always operate for the mid-range. It's always pay Embiid. A guy that wants score try to operate from the mid-range.
From the mid-range. The mid-range talk. Again, see, look, that's the part of Herm right there that's old school, and that's why they call his ass uncle. Shout out to you, Herm, man. Appreciate you. Let me bring up Twin, man, so I can bring up Dr. A. King, get ready for this game, man. Appreciate you. Y'all make sure to holler at Hollywood Herm. Y'all know Hollywood Herm be all over the place, especially on Discord. He always causing trouble on Discord as well, talking everything in these YouTube streets as well, man. Shout out to you, brother. I'll put you in the background. I'll bring you up shortly if you want to come back up, brother. Yeah, man. Let me bring up Twin Man, and then I'll bring you up, Dr. Inky. Please be patient here. Twin Man, what's good, brother? Thank you for joining me, man. Goat James Kingdom members in the building. You there, Twin Man?
Yeah, I'm here. What's up? How you doing?
I'm good, bro. So let me ask you this. Did they call you Unk yet? Are you in Unk status yet?
Yeah, man, I'm 42. I'm already
Yeah, see, Unk status. Yeah, we are Unk status, man. See, that's it, boy. Got a couple gray hairs growing in. You want to hear something funny? I fell today going down the steps, man. I think I broke my big toe, man. I don't know what's going on, man. I'm getting too old, brother. I think I'm getting too old.
Well, first things first, I just want to say cap on something Herm said. Cap. Herm is past 40. He probably 50. He lied.
Oh my God, man!
I agree with what Herm said too. I feel like we're in a time where the older generation basketball fans are resentful of today's generation because they're like, all this, and we had to play within the scheme. Not understanding is players today are playing within the scheme. Like
You
the
breaking in
game
and
has
out,
evolved.
Twin man. You breaking in and out, Twin man. You gotta get your mic right, brother. You breaking in and out.
You hear me better?
Go ahead. Speak.
Can you hear me better?
Yeah. Go ahead. I can hear you now. Go ahead.
I was saying that while I agree with her, the older generation of basketball players and basketball fans are resentful how the game's evolved, and they probably were as skilled to do a lot of the things that the today's players did, but how the game was played back then, it was slow it down, grind it out. So they really try to take advantage of the NBA rules instead of letting these guys loose the way they let them loose today. See what I'm saying? So they're resentful of a lot of things. They're sitting here and hearing a lot of the younger generation saying that this is the most skilled era ever. And you have a lot of old heads saying, nah, we just couldn't do what y'all did because our coaches wouldn't let us do it. Well, that's your fault.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's me. That's not an excuse.
The coach didn't let you smoke crack neither, but you was still out there smoking crack.
Let's look at I hear things like oh, we were just as skilled, we just couldn't do those things because of how the game was played. I don't look at 90s basketball and 80s basketball as really good played basketball, because if you're going down the lane and the only way they can stop you is to clothesline you out the air or knock you over, that's not basketball. The whole purpose of basketball is to score the ball and to stop the other team from scoring within the rules. I have to knock you over, clothesline you out the air to stop you. That's not basketball. That's why you get that team back then, and we're like, yo, that's trash. Because
facts.
Like look at what Gary Payton, when he said about Steph Curry. I'm trying to think of any guard in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, and who's standing in front of Steph? One-on-one?
Nobody.
Illegal defense? Are they
Nobody.
crazy?
Nobody. And the whole point is that you're not going to have to. You don't have to. I got a screener. There's always somebody to set a screen. That's what people don't understand.
Even if there's no screen, who's standing in front of Steph? We don't even have to say Steph. That's the elite of the elite. Stand in front of Trae Young. Stand in front of Tyrese Halliburton. Standing in front of Jalen Brunson. Like, come on, like the handle's different. These dudes are faster, they're more athletic. It's not the same. So I understand why they feel where the resentment's coming from, because it's like, oh, y'all are overlooking us. Nobody's overlooking your greatness. The game evolves, and they have to learn to appreciate the game today the same way they want to, how they want to be appreciated. They need to appreciate the game today. And until they do that, this I guess battle or war is never gonna end. I'm not gonna. I love 90s basketball. I did. I really love 90s basketball, but it's just not better than today's basketball. I love 2000s basketball, but the 2000s isn't better than 2010. 2010s isn't better than now.
But this is the truth, though. This is the honest truth, and I would say this to anybody who claims to be a basketball fan. There's no era you won't be able to appreciate. If you're a real basketball fan, you'll be able to go back there and appreciate it. So the difference is like I said, the young dudes go back and look at it and they see the lies. So it's in their minds, yo, there's no way this is better than today. And that's where they start disrespecting, because they start saying, well, that shit's just not that good. But they still appreciate the game. There's a lot of young dudes who'll go back and watch and just for the understanding of the game, just to understand how the game was played, just to watch it, just to see it, and they could appreciate it. So any real basketball fan will appreciate any era of basketball. But the problem is that we have a lot of casuals that became basketball fans in the 90s due to Michael Jordan's popularity, and because of that, they think they are basketball fans, and they're not. That's why any era prior to Michael Jordan sucks, and every era after Michael Jordan sucks, because they only know the game of basketball predicated on the popularity that Michael Jordan brought to the league. You see what I'm trying to say? That's why it's all about that with them. Yeah. Let's let Dr. Inky in the building. Shout out to you, Twain Gant, man. Dr. Inky, thank you for joining me, brother. How you doing today, man? What you got for us today?
Hey.
You are an old nigga. That I know. You are an old head.
Yes. I'm 47.
Okay,
and,
yes.
And let me say this. The thing is, as a 47-year-old, I came in to disrespect the 90s basketball. I came in to absolutely violate. I'm not even going to tap dance around it. A lot of them guys had beer bellies.
Wow.
There's no way that Steph Curry would have broke Wilt Chamberlain scoring records if he would have played in the 90s. You think about Steph Curry is taking 3 steps past half court and shooting the ball with consistency. So that means that you got beer belly guys that would have had to guard Steph Curry 90 feet. They would have had to guard Steph Curry. They would have had to put a full court trap on Steph Curry the entire game. 4 quarters, they would have had to run a full court press with 2 guys on Steph Curry the whole entire time. He would have looked like a Martian out there. They would have swore they was abducted. They wouldn't have even been able to deal with that type of basketball. Steph Curry would have absolutely had 140 points per night in the 90s. They wouldn't have even been able. All of that tough talk about, we would have just elbowed Steph Curry, and Steph Curry wouldn't have been able to deal with the physical treatment.
They do that to Mark Price. Why would they do it to Steph?
Wait, but they wouldn't even got a chance to do it to Steph, because soon as Steph Curry would have crossed half court, it's a wrap. Bang, he's shooting the ball.
Can you imagine Steph?
Or he would have passed it to the open man, because remember, these is beer belly guys trying to guard Steph, double teaming him from 90 feet. So he would have left 2 of them wheezing and holding their chest at the other side of the court when he finished it up.
Bro, can you imagine Steph playing with the short and 3-point line for those 3 years? Oh my God, he would have annihilated those records. He would have annihilated those records.
A 60% 3-point percent, like percent.
Think about it. He got 4,000 3-pointers, and that's with him shooting over guys that's 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", in shape, fine-tuned, all muscle. He would have had 8,000 or 10,000 3-pointers playing in a league full of beer belly 6'3" guys. Like, that would have been crazy. It would have been crazy. It would have been a Texas Chainsaw Massacre back then. Like, it wouldn't even been fair to see Steph. Matter of fact, what would have happened with Steph Curry is Steph Curry would have been put in the Allen Iverson box. The referees in the league would have tried to ban Steph Curry's play because it was too advanced for what the league was able to deal with at the time.
Oh, he would have killed it. He would have killed it. I could just watch him. He would have been able to play without a Draymond Green, because he would have been able to be the ball facilitator and the scorer, no problem. Like, it would have been perfect.
So think about it like this. Think about it like this, bro. Imagine any of the players today having the advantage of a league, and you only have to get around one defender. And you know there's no secondary defender on the back end. It's that defender. Imagine, again, I don't have to go to the cream of the crop. You see what I'm saying? Imagine somebody like Paul George with. Imagine somebody like.
You're breaking in and out, twin man. You're breaking in and out, brother. It's really bad. It's bad. Yeah, it's bad for me. I can hear you, but it's clear and then it goes out. Like, it legitimately is clear and then goes out in the middle of you speaking.
It's got my phone problem.
Yeah, I mean, I'm about to end the live anyways because, like I said, I didn't have too much to talk today because I am working on some things for GOAT James Kingdom episodes coming up these next couple of weeks here. And obviously, man, it's just like the end of the basketball season is getting there. Shout out to Martell and the Miami Heat Zone. Peace, brother. Thank you. You guys make sure to check out Miami Heat Zone if you like the Heat talk and Heat basketball. He does lives all throughout the day to talk the game and drop breaking news about the Miami Heat and breaking update. We had a tough loss the other night, brother. Hopefully we can continue to win. So shout out to you, Martell. I appreciate you, man. So, but like I said, man, the old heads just got to relax, man. They got to realize the game has gone past them. It's you know, I mean, I live in Miami. We still like the old donks, them box donks. But it's still not driving. It's still not like driving a 2025 vehicle, bro. It's not like getting an electric vehicle where you just can get in the car and the seats automatically adjust without you pressing a button. It already knows you're in the car, who you are. You can tell the radio to turn on by just talking to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, y'all got to understand the advancements of the game is necessary, bro. They don't, you know what I'm saying? Dr. Inky, these guys, and especially a brother like you, because I know you love history. And it's always good to know where you came from, to understand where you come from, right? That allows you to see where you stand today, and allows you to see where you can take something, whatever you're doing forward. So that's why when LeBron James said the other day that I want to be the one that provide the generation some motivation, some inspiration, because he understands where he stands and where he fits, because he understands the history of the game. He understands it. He appreciates it. So as the face of the league, he says, I want to pass it on correctly. I'm not going to be like these zesty Jeffries who did not want to pass on the torch. He's ready to move on, and he's praising Stephen Curry. He's praising Joker, Luka, and they all like, oh, that's soft, that's weak. No, that's called being a man. I'm not going to sit around here and sugarcoat stuff.
I got a question for you, and if that's the case, the question I have for you is, how come you don't show that clip more often for the parade on Crenshaw? I believe that we need to see that clip more often.
I am trying to do that, but you know, they be flagging us when we be using the music, man. They don't like us. They don't like you using music, and they don't like you using videos. And it be hurting. To be honest with you, it don't hurt our pockets because, to be honest with you, YouTube does not pay you well. Lamont stated, yeah, they do not pay well for advertising. They put advertising on your videos even if you're not monetized, and you really don't even get paid that much for advertising. So for that being the case, Dr. Inky, I got it for you, ladies and gentlemen. It will always be Parade on Crenshaw. Y'all come join me on Playback TV and watch the Lakers play tonight.
Maybach bumper stickery, what we're overdue. Jay is chillin', Yay is chillin'. What more can I say? We killing them. Hold up, before we end this campaign. As you can see, we embodied the damn lanes. Lord, please let them accept the things they can't change. And pray that all of their pain be champagne.
Yes, indeed. That Dr. Inky, appreciate you, brother. That's what we about to have, a parade on Crenshaw, brother. Any last words when we get up out of here, brother? You got yourself muted there, brother.
That might be the best clip of all time in history.
I appreciate the support and love, brother. Again, y'all check out Dr. Inky. He actually does have his own platform. The brother speaks well. He does courses on different stuff that you guys would love to learn about. He is a teacher. He's definitely a knowledgeable man. I actually know Dr. Inky from following him on my own platforms on social media. So shout out to you, brother. Keep doing your thing, and it's actually an honor to have you come on GOAT James Kingdom and support what we do here, man. Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate all the great works that you do in the community and also within the basketball community. As you said before, bro, as older heads that we are, we need to be the inspiration for the younger generation, and we need to understand that generation. So we're about to get up out of here and head to Playback. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to head to Playback. Y'all definitely check out the GOAT James Kingdom platform. Y'all know what to do best. Again, this has been another Friday Night Exposure with the Exposer. Y'all have a great Friday night. Y'all come join Playback TV. I put the link up for anybody who's a GOAT James Kingdom member. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening. Peace and blessings.
Get off me. Y'all ain't nothing without me. I made your asses. You can't fire me. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Y'all can't do me like this. You ungrateful son of a bitches.
If you're a basketball fan and you're tired of basketball shows that talk about fake narratives and using non-basketball terms like killer instinct, playoff translation, gravity, come to GOAT James Kingdom.
Welcome to GOAT James Kingdom, where basketball lives forever. You get to enjoy B. Lee and Ajani talk basketball every Sunday noon Eastern Time right here on the GOAT James Kingdom channel. Support by subscribing and also check out the membership at GOAT James Kingdom.